Hi, welcome to my third video of this year, 2022, on OKRs. The first we can see here was a general sort of video, specifically for John Doerr and what matters. The second was sort of a follow-up. Sorry, let's John Doerr, what matters. The second was a follow-up for Founders Fund, Peter Theil and Leigh Marie Braswell. But that one was interrupted and maybe was a little bit too Republican, a little bit religious, spiritual. So I've not released it, although I will put it up and it'll be a private link, well, a shared link anyway. So today is completely impromptu. I did actually schedule in my daily planner yesterday, but other things came along and it got moved out. And today I was sort of, well, I needed to go on to this, the 13-week planner, because I haven't remade it since week 9, which was 3 weeks ago. And as in the last video, I said we're going to be talking about this planner. Made sense that I video it. So here we are. In the last few weeks since the last video, I have started to organize my YouTube channels that are free. Okay, one is Nick Ray Ball, so that's YouTube at Nick Ray Ball. The other is the 10 Technologies, t10t.org, well, at the 10 Technologies. And the other, which I haven't done a header for yet, is Cape Villas. This Cape Villas was Villa Secrets. The 10 Technologies was Angel Theory. And Nick Ray Ball has always been Nick Ray Ball. Now, the trouble is the videos for basically the 10 Technologies are spread across all 3 channels, and most videos are not publicly seen, so you're not going to see it on the channels. And if I was to organize it, the dates that I use to search through will all be changed, because as far as I can work out, as soon as you change a video, the date of it changes, and that's that. So my admin in terms of going back, and there's about 900 videos, my system is to go through it date by date. Let's just, for example, I think if we go here, yeah, you see, most of them are unlisted. This is one that I did about three or 4 months ago. I made it public and the date changed from when it was made to December. So I do write on the description when you see made on the 23rd, but the description doesn't show that. So for now, I'm going to keep all the videos in the order they are and just make specific videos explaining where everything is. Yeah, that's the best I can do for now. It's just me. Right, okay, so let's get back to this. But before we go into detail here, I'm going to update these last 2 weeks that have basically didn't really do what I was supposed to do, and these 2 weeks I'm having to do what I was supposed to do 2 weeks ago. But I did make the first Cape Villas sale for many years, and that's brought in money that'll bring in marketing and legal and hire a PHP, my SQL programmer. So yeah, it was worth it. And the week before was distracted by doctors doing crazy NHS stuff. Yeah, you can see we're here now, week 12, and this is what I was supposed to be doing, which I was really looking forward to doing. And and then basically the UK version, tidying it up, and then going into the American version. But the UK version, well, that's just pretty much been thrown out the window. And we'll get to this when we come. What I'm going to do now is have a look back at where we were in the last video. This would be video 1. This is now video 3. The second one for Founders Fund is video 2, but that'll be only on a link if I send it to you or you find it somewhere. It will not be on the channel per se. Okay, so yeah, we have it up, and let's just recap. Pink is excellent, green, very good, yellow is okay, red, bad. On the Google OKRs equivalent, red is sort of 0.0 to 0.3, yellow is 0.4 to 6, green is 7 to 10, and pink is, I put that as an extra, like when you do better. And you can see per the sort of rule book as written by John Doerr, thank you very much, mate, you're not supposed to hit all greens, or in this case, greens and pinks. If you do, you're not doing it right. You can see it was a mixed bag. Pretty bad week there, pretty bad week there, exceptional week there. And this week, you can see the scores have just gone nuts. The health score there of 645 from minus 25, that was because I cut down smoking from about 20 a day 5 months ago to 1 a day, which, thank you very much OKRs, because I wouldn't have done that without you guys. And something else that we'll be discussing in a different set of videos about the book called Unbreakable, 3 parts. Right, so we discussed this. This was the week the OKRs went to die. Then the return of the OKRs, number 7. Return of the OKRs, part 2. And then we have, look at that, moving into overdrive. I think this must have been, yeah, this is 3 weeks ago. Really good. Then another employee, NHS employee, nearly derailed my OKRs, but I managed to recover. Although it shot to pieces the 13-week plan. And then last week, moving back into overdrive and beyond. This week's going well so far. No distractions. Okay, so this right up here needs to be a little bit more, but you can see the scoring mechanisms here lead to that score, which is repeated here, which goes back to the original plan you just saw. And we had a pink, and that's pretty much because I've organized everything around the presentation, and the pink, this is the presentation. So 50 and above was for a pink, and it's 173, but I've changed the scoring mechanism slightly because I've been multitasking a lot more, putting in little tasks that were very important, and if there's an idea that is very, very good, I give it a score. So the score's gone up, which I will have to correct for, but not in this quarter. I do those sort of corrections each quarter. Business, Kate Villa's business, good. Actually, no, it was very good. 162 first sale made us, I think, $5,000, which, considering there's 300 pounds, $400 a week costs. That's that's awesome. I mean, it's tiny money for the people who'll be watching this video. But right now, considering that's no advertising and we only got the systems back online 3 days before, to make $5,000 within 6 days is pretty cool when you're completely on your own and you're doing a load of other stuff at the same time. OKR system development, that went well. S-Web stuff and IT admin didn't go that well. We had a couple of snags, but it wasn't the priority for that week. So that's fine. Admin and other tasks, not bad, green. And the personal and medical, 645 or 646. Yeah, that's now actually just coming directly from, and this is new, from the health points here, all the stars, and I gave myself massive bonuses for cutting down to, where is it? 4, then 3, then 3, then 2, then 2, then 2, then 2, then 1. So, look, when it comes to the health score points, I do whatever it takes to keep me healthy. And the fact that I'm awarding myself massive bonuses for giving up smoking, you know, that's pretty much the most healthy thing I can do. And yes, I know all you Americans are going to go, oh my God, he smokes. What a weak-minded fool. Good reason for that will be discussed in the books Unbreakable. Anyway, so we've had a quick look at this. Now, I've got about 40 minutes left to go. I'd like to read through this more, but I won't. I'll save that for another video, maybe next week as well. One interesting thing that I really, really liked, and I think John Doerr's going to think it's very clever, is last week at some point I made the decision to just add 2 labels to this system. First one here was just to label this bit where I count calories and how far I've walked. I can't really walk very far at the moment, hence the crazy 100-hour weeks, but that's fine. So calories per day, exercise, health stars, and space rockets for exercise. Okay, that just gives it a little bit of a description, but this is the one that really made the difference. This was basically used to be the diary, but recently I've started planning out the day and writing stuff down in the diary, and it's worked. And so the diary is no longer just the diary, unnamed. It's now plan, adapts, or is executed diary. So we all know what this is for. If something comes along, you have to go into Wartime CEO, the plan adapts, write it out, and adapt it. But you're also following the daily planner and the plan, and when you execute and you win, like making money or doing your task very, very well before time, etc., etc., whenever you execute, that also goes here. And you see various, you can see the detail that I go into just writing out this diary. And look, this isn't for everybody, but this is certainly for me. Right, so yeah, that's an update of the main things that have happened since the last video. And where are we? We're now here is today, and we're right here. So now to the 13-week planner. Now let's just have a look at the previous planners. This was the last one I made on week 9, which was 28th of November to the 4th of December. Let's go and have a look at the previous planners. Where we go? Here we go. This is week 1 of Q4, 3rd of October through to 31st of December. And you can see it was relatively simple. Although what I was sort of doing wrong was not clumping everything into 2 or 3 week groups. And I'm going to try and do that next year, Q1. So I've found that different tasks all throughout the day, you're moving from one thing to another. It's not always the best way, although I've sort of got this, what I call the sextuplet word score, which is when, over the time, this is actually the previous um, KR, key results weekly scores. Let's get back to the one that is now a sextuplet word score, obviously taken from the Scrabble double word, triple word score. It's when I execute one key result and it benefits all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 of my different key result objective of my different objectives. Create presentations, Kate Villas, business, Oliver lawsuit, that's now Condon Ryan lawsuit, and for fun, their names have now, in my book, not in the legal documents, been changed to Shelob and Gollum. The third is S-Web coding, infra stuff, IT admin. OKRs maintenance is number 4. Other admin and tasks, personal medical. This is just the weekly score, and this is the score from the 13-week planner. But if I can do one task if I can execute one key result that benefits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then that's good. And it's very sort of company orientated. But it does, it's quite distracting working that way. And you do pretty much have to work 100-hour weeks every week in or week out, or at least 95 hours a week. You can see the hours here. Last week 97.7, week before 101, week before 93, a little bit lazy, week before 100.8. You see my point. Let's get back to where we were. Yeah, so for the last few weeks, I've been planning it out, not in the 13-week planner, but the daily planner, which is okay, but it's not particularly organized. And now that I've sort of got a breath after last week having to adapt and execute a sale, which I hadn't done for many, many years. I didn't even know the people I was speaking to. I had to reintroduce myself to the whole of Cape Town. And yeah, 1 for 1, so great. And the week before that, I had to adapt to a physiotherapist who didn't actually have a clue about back injuries, which I'm currently suffering from. Anyway, positively now, happy bunny, let's get back to looking at that original 13-week plan from the beginning of the quarter. So there we go, nickrayball.com. That's come on quite well. Contact Giselle, bit of Twitter. Nick Rayball's CEO and contacts. Yeah, that was to re-establish myself as the CEO of the website, who my pesky previous employers have passed themselves off as. It's like katevillas.com 2000 to 2022, and then there's katevillas.co.za from 2019, or no, from 2021, the little rats. Anyway, we'll see that. Get emails working, they got that working. katevillas.com, old contacts page, got rid of that. Yeah, so all of those original plans were done. And then I put in the plans for the second week. Haven't contacted these guys. Mm, haven't actually done that, but it's in. I think it's in the daily planner for tomorrow. Yeah, I think so. Um, Contacts on footer, done that. Yeah, okay. So this stuff all got done, and actually, this is the chap I met yesterday. Really, not yesterday, last week. Made the booking with. Great. And that was that. And at this point, week 5 began. Actually, no, on week 3 began work on the lawsuit for the pesky ex-employees, Shelob and Gollum. And you can see that that was really dominating. It was every second week, work on that lawsuit, work on that lawsuit, work on that lawsuit, work on that lawsuit. You know, that was the main thing because I was very worried reintroducing myself to Cape Town, which is necessary because, um, be it Founders Fund or whoever, they would really like to see the 10 technologies working in a real business situation. And there could have been confusion in Cape Town as to who Cape Villas was owned by, etc., etc., etc. And that was the prototype business. So it was very important. Um, and this got done bit by bit, but unfortunately, I'm now having to really work on it this week and next. Because it has to be delivered before the end of the year, because found out in 2021, replied in 2022 is okay, but found out in, spending a long time researching, going through cheapers, thousands of pages of data just to work out what on earth happened, especially as they deleted a load of emails because I stupidly gave them access to my servers. Um, yeah, crazy. Um, yeah. So that was the plan on week 1. Let's go to where week 3.5, and you can see getting a lot busier. And I think yeah, nothing really has changed other than what I did is started scoring here. And this goes, no, it's not easy for me to find. It would go in one of these on the previous, on this quarter's one. Let's not let's not get distracted by that. Okay, so yeah, so that was week 3.5, then week 4.1. Just carrying on with stuff, moving forwards. The plan at this point didn't really make much change, but you can see here I started to work on the individual 10 technologies websites. Put them in lightly in the light color blue. That's week 4 of Q4. And then suddenly there was a remix that I had to do because something happened. And yeah, I think it was this crazy, crazy doctor guy who's just like not going to get into it because actually there's Series B funding, and anybody who doesn't know what that is, look it up. Anybody who does know what it is, you know exactly how much money I'm talking about. I've got pressure now on a company to get that at, I would say, $100 million. Right, okay. Um, yeah, I just gave it away, didn't I? But anyway, so that was week 4.2. I had to adapt. Then week 5.1, you can see we're getting busier as I'm adding things that have come along the way. And all of the tasks from sort of week 2 and 3, you can see they just get moved back every single week because of these crazy situations that were happening in England. And the work on the lawsuit in earnest got moved back, got moved back, got moved back. There, contact Layla. That actually only happened last week. This hasn't happened at all. Been working on a Leigh Marie Braswell presentation, but haven't contacted her. LinkedIn, done some of that. Okay, that's week 5.1. Then there was a need for a remix. Remix is basically when something happens and I've got to change my OKR 13-week strategy. And this was a point where I love this point every year, 24th of November. It's like a sad but also inspirational week for me. Not going to go into it. But you see the pink there. That means I'm working on things that I really, really want to work on, love working on, and are in a little way spiritual, or certainly spiritually inspired, shall we say? I think that's the best word. And that was the sort of plan on the last week of the first part of Q4. Every year I try and do something special on the 24th of November. This year it was UK Butterfly, but the distractions from the crazy doctors in the UK, basically perverting the course of justice, interfering with police investigations into themselves, etc., 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 all for my book, which, there's actually 10 different book trilogies. This is one book trilogy that is sort of autobiographical and what's going to happen over the next couple of years in 3 parts called Unbreakable. So yeah, that was the plan. Really nice week there. And then that sort of followed on with, pretty much a lot of space here to see what happens. Let's go to the next one. Week 5.2. I had to readjust again. Week 7. Okay, so we skipped a week there. And yeah, the idea was I'll have that lovely week, 21st to the 24th, and this would have been this week, the 7th week. There's John Doerr's name. There's Leigh Marie Braswell's name. There's Founders Fund. Okay. So the idea was build up to my lovely week and then work on it for another 2 weeks and then focus on that lawsuit here and really do a lot of work on the individual 10 technologies websites over what is right now, and I haven't been able to do any of that, but I've done a lot of other stuff. Okay, so 13-week OKRs, 7.1, much the same. Week 8, still much the same. So I was on track. When you see a remix, something happened to adapt, have to adapt to circumstances. I was recovering from various medical conditions caused by these crazy doctors. But anyway, that's probably what happened. Starting to put in Q1. Yeah, moving over stuff from Q3 to Q4. Actually at this point, the doctors made me so angry that I didn't actually complete the UK butterfly, and I sort of thought, well, okay, I'll put the last 2 weeks of the year for the UK butterfly, but week one going on, I'm going to go straight back to American Butterfly, which is actually a trilogy of books I wrote in 2012. So it makes, and I started them on January the 1st, so it makes a lot of sense to go back to exactly that, but 11 years on. And now all the UK butterfly stuff is just a bit of research on inflation that I now know pretty damn well, which I needed to know for Technology 7 S-RES. So yeah, good work, but the UK is completely lost out because of the doctors. So yeah, you guys, if American Butterfly goes well and it turns out you destroyed England's hope of massive GDP growth, I would hope everybody in England runs you out of the country. Yeah. We'll talk about this in my book, Unbreakable. Okay, so again, a remix. Oh, it says do not show. Okay, so this is the last but one that I made. And you can see this block here where we are now is supposed to be my my lovely time working on just tidying up the end of UK Butterfly and the T10T, 10 Technologies website, and working on S-RES, all the stuff I really want to do, working on Peter Thiel. Actually, that has really gone well because I started a book, well, not a book, a web page, very long web page, kind of a book called The Republican on 24th of November 2021. Yeah. And ended it on, I think, the 18th of December 2021. Then moved on to another related thing. And a year to the day, I continued the book, but it's called now The Republican 2, and it's actually now not about Peter Thiel. I learned so much in Republican research that I actually swapped from Democrat to Republican, and Republican 2 is sort of about me. And next year, I guess at the same time, the sort of plan is all books end up as trilogies. The third book will probably be about Elon Musk, but we'll see. We'll see. And we can see starting to put in for the next year. Right, now we go to the very last one I made, which is where we sort of came in on. Here we are, and we can see now this was the plan of week 9, week 10, 11, adapt, week 11, adapt to bad things happening. Sorry, week 10, adapting to bad things happening, wartime CEO. Week 11, adapting to good things happening, but also sort of wartime CEO because it was frantic. And then it's supposed to be peacetime CEO for the UK, and then peacetime CEO for the USA. Just lots of work and research and stuff that I love doing. Or catch-up week. Then there's 3 weeks on my book and the legal suit against my pesky ex-employees, Shelob and Gollum, we call them. Then there's some catch-up. Yeah, the last part of Q1 is all catch-up. And it was really only that first 3 weeks for working on American Butterfly 2023, a catch-up week. There are 1, 2, 3 weeks legal and and the book, parts of the book, Unbreakable. And then, yeah, we're going to see what needed to be done after those 3 weeks of American Butterfly, the catch-up week, and then the 3 weeks illegal. But yeah, it's actually this video is as much for myself as it is for anybody else. And yeah, you know, I just thought I'd actually video myself doing this and actually talking it out to you guys helps me Because I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that was the plan. I was a little bit disconcerted because I thought the whole of Q1 would be really thrown out if I had to move back. Not move back, because I've already basically started American Butterfly 2023 in The Republican for Peter Thiel, or the second book second book in the Republican series, whereas the first book is for Peter Thiel. But it's all, this is all really going to Founders Fund first option. But yeah, so I can actually put the things that I should work on, because in the first couple of weeks of Jan, people will be refocused on the year. And yeah, whilst that's good for a founders fund, or even what matters presentation to John Doerr and his VC, or it also makes sense to execute the Cape Villas, because that is working somehow. I have no idea how we're getting the inquiries, other than the fact the website's been there since 2000, and I've only just got the inquiry systems, so it's sending me the inquiries again. No advertising. Um, I have actually got a few ideas, and it's all to do with S-Web, but they're so... Yeah, I'm not going to give that away. Not... yeah, that'll be on that'll be on the S-Web's website, which is vaguely secure. Right, okay, so that's... Now, I'm going to go to the exact copy I just made of that, and I'm going to change things around. At a later date, I'm going to go and make up what I did over these 2 weeks. So we'll see these 2 weeks change to what actually happened, and I'll add the scoring in. But there's no need to put that in this video, because this video for me right now is not about what's happened the last 2 weeks. That's all recorded and it's happened. It's about executing for the future. I'm just going to get a sip of water, so I'm going to pause this and I'll be back in 2 seconds. And I'm back. Okay, so just remembering this isn't a spreadsheet. Well, it is a spreadsheet, obviously it's a spreadsheet, but this is the design for the software, the TBS, that's technology 2 of the 10 technologies, S-World AGI, artificial general intelligence, as if it were artificial general intelligence, in that if China looked on from afar, seeing what it can accomplish, they would presume someone had made AGI 40 years or whatever anybody estimates ahead of time. Really. So this is just one subsystem of technology 2, and we've covered this in video 1, so I'm not going to go into it and show you the stuff. But technology 2, total business systems, and this is the TBS-CC, the total business systems company controller, and this is the design for our OKRs version of that subsystem of a subsystem of technology 2 of the 10 technologies. So you get a little idea of the scope of the 10 technologies by understanding this is just one very small part of the OKR system, which is a small part of the CC system, the company controller, which is a small part of, well, no, a pretty big part of the total business systems. It has to have a financial system and, all the other systems you would imagine in business. Marketing is dealt with in T3, networks distribution, by the way. Everything online is T1, S-Web. Then T4 is S-World Film, PR, etc., etc. T5 is S-World Virtual Social Network or the Metaverse, whatever. Uh, T6, very interesting, is everything as a game. I call it UCS, Universal Colonization System. T7 then just based on a very, very, very simple algorithm that takes the whole of the 10 technologies to execute SRES, but is the financial powerhouse. It can essentially change the growth of economy, increase it by 32 times, which sounds ridiculous because people will go, oh, but what about inflation? Well, when the model was originally done, it was for Malawi and it was to be done in dollars. So the dollar inflation wouldn't change because whatever we were going to make it, be it billions or whatever, or trillions, as it turned out, over 56 years, was insignificant to the price of the dollar. So inflation didn't matter. And only in August this year did I actually work out that I figured out how to beat the inflation in a Western economy back in 2016 when I threw away the entire design that I've been making since 2011 and redesigned everything around one statistic, and that was price. So the whole of the 10 technologies is basically based around price. So we can control price because that's what it was designed to do, even well before the whole idea of SRES came along. SRES T7 is then connected to T8, which is in a few books called 64 Reasons Why, is known as Net Zero DCA. But for our Republican audience, don't worry about the net zero. It does that, but in T9 grand spin networks, it really does solve all the problems of economic migration. And then T10 is the combinatorial explosion of technologies 1 to 9, which creates AGI, or as if it were AGI. Okay, I've got 10 to 15 minutes. And I'm going to redo this. We'll see a 13-week OKRs, week 12.3 probably, or a remix. But for now, I'm just going to have a look at what we've got going on, and I'm going to plot out what I'm doing this week next. Just amend this week and next. So let's do that. Now, shall I just... Well, I'm definitely starting American Butterfly on the 1st. That's not going to change. And be it UK legal or South African legal, I have set that time aside. But then I have got all this time here in Q1, and then there's the rest of the year, but we're only worried about Q1. It's all catch up. So I'm just going to shuffle along weeks 5 to 7. And you see most of it is based around the UK legal stuff, which, as mentioned earlier, should force a certain company into Series B funding at 100 million, which would be the best investment they've ever made, if it so happens that our poker playing Leigh Marie Braswell wants to take up that challenge, and if it so happens that Founders Fund or other haven't already thought, well, actually, we don't even want their money, we love your 10 technologies, and yeah, let's go from there. So I'm going to move all this legal stuff here back, let's say 2 weeks. That gives me 2 weeks here extra. Actually, I'm going to move it back 3 weeks. So let's move this. Well, let's just move it all. Actually, no, because it's a spreadsheet. I'm going to have to move week 5. Exactly how we're going to do this part of it in the software is for others to decide. And a general note that making something in a spreadsheet and then designing it as software is the easiest way, because the MySQL or whatever database people use looks like this. Well, it doesn't look like this, but it in theory looks like this. And you put in all the calculations, as long as you've got all the calculations there between all the different subsystems, and it's easy to program. So that's going to move to there. These two are going to move to there. Make sure I got that right. Then I'm just going to delete all this stuff for now. Get rid of the coloring. Delete this, delete this. But Damani, I will be in contact. That would be Damani Mandela for anybody who doesn't know who I'm talking about. The, in quotation marks, black Nick, or I was the white Dumani, as people used to say. We both had a similar problem that wasn't in any way a problem. And thanks to Thomas Erickson's book, Surrounded by Idiots, which actually I've worked out is the best-selling book in the history of all books at 3 million copies in the fields of psychology and behavioral science / economics, after the other two books in the field, the best-selling books. Well, one's Nudge, and the other is Thinking Fast and Slow. Both. Hi, Richard Thaler. Love your work. Thank you very much. Haven't actually completed Thinking Fast and Slow yet, so, but it's Tversky, I think, or Kahneman, one of the two. Right, so where were we? I've made space for that. I've just moved those along. Easy, easy, easy. Let's throw in a catch-up week. Got to do that. Let's move everything here back 2 weeks. Forwards 2 weeks, rather. Let's move it all, including that catch-up week. Forwards 2 weeks, that's fine. Let's clear these cells apart from American Butterfly 2023. And don't worry, Leigh Marie, I will put you back in. And sorry if I say your name with an accent. I had a girlfriend, Marie-Hélène, and when I hear Leigh Marie, I sort of think about the same pronunciation. Okay, what's going on down the bottom? Let's just get rid of that. Right, okay, so now we're back to the stuff that I wanted to do this week. And, well, we've got Kate Villa's business that is important because it is showing S-Web in a real world business situation, and it's going very well. Do we even have a column for Kate Villas other than re-establishing myself as the CEO, changing all contacts, contact people, been doing that, inquiries, okay, yeah, we do, although I'm going to have to shove in a load more Kate Villas and S-Web columns, but for now, oops, where are we going? Hit the wrong button there somehow. Let's move that back to there. That, oh no, where are we? Let's grab that there. throw that into last week because that was I'm going to use the purple for Cape Villas because that is the Cape Villas color. And as I said, I'm going to go through weeks 10 and 11, fix them up later. This is really about reorientating myself this week and for the next 3 weeks after that, so I'm not disappointed about not working all the things I wanted to work on. And we're going to grab those there and just throw them there. I have been working on this, and really the Peter Steele Republican and Palantir, whilst the second book is, you know, the Republican me, it is written to Peter Thiel, and it constantly references Peter Thiel. So yeah, you know, we'll read it at a later point in a different video. So I'm going to keep that in there and there because that's going on, and actually I'm going to throw that back a week because it started that week. And yeah, obviously, if you're a programmer who's looking at this, and I've said this is what we're doing, this is what we got to do. We've got to think of ways to do this um, that is simple for people. This is like the command control system for the CEO and the top execs to plan out what's going on. This isn't for your day-to-day staff, albeit they can have their own one if they want. You know, it might be useful, probably will be. But okay, so this is the stuff that I really wanted to be doing. I've already moved that over, so I'm going to just delete that from there because okay, so yeah, here we go. Condon and Heaver, Condon and Heaver, Condon and Heaver, which is now Shelob and Gollum. In my book, that is, not in any legal papers. The respondents, the accused, let's just clarify. I'm going to move that to there because this is all we're doing. I'm going to take that out of there because didn't have time to do that because of doctors here and the great inquiry and opportunities and everything else that was going on, including making the YouTube channels, making the first videos for this, etc., etc., etc. That happened. That happened. That hasn't happened yet, but it is planned for this week, so that's fine. I did that, and I tried to contact Nick and Richard from Knox, but got through to a girl who really shouldn't be working there and had to move on. I'm going to put that there. Okay, this is making me happier because now I'm like, right, okay, that's all I've got to do. Let's just go to the bottom. Yeah, there was no particular emphasis on the legal stuff in the UK this week. No problem there. Right, okay. Well, it's important I keep up the Nick Ray Ball site because all the other websites you need a login to get in. And I think the S-Web website is very important. Let's try and find where that is. That's Technology One. Okay. We keep jumping back for some reason. Don't have a dedicated. Ah, yeah, the S-Web came up here as part of each technology. So let's just try and find a previous one so I don't have to write it out again. In fact, there isn't one. Okay, well that's fine. Yeah, the pinks and the blues, by the way, the pinks are things that I love to do, and the blues are things that it's not that I don't love doing, it's just day-to-day stuff, you know. Right, okay, S-Web, 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 S-Web. Now, it's kind of in between a blue and a pink, but because it's a technology, and I love doing my technology stuff, I'm going to put it as a pink. There we go. I'm going to, are we, we're in the wrong week. It goes here, yeah, because nickrayball.com is not a priority, whereas the S-Web kind of is. It goes hand in hand with Cape Villas and Airbnb and all the villa stuff. So that's there. Okay, T10T is the summary site for the 10 technologies, which I'm going to make open to the public. That is important, but it's not critical. So I'm actually going to move all of these ones here back another week. And I got 5 minutes. Let's just get some. I'll tidy this up later. Let's put another S-Web in there. Oops. Continue the nickrayball.com. Where's the Cape Villas? Where's the Cape Villas gone? I'm going to have to make him in bold. We're going to. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Now the temptation is to use the $4,000 that I've made to advertise the Cape Villas website, and ROI previously has been about 4 to 7 to 1, so I can potentially turn that $4,000, especially in the feeding season when the fish are all out, which is week 1, week 2, week 3 of this is the best time for villa sales, bookings rather, not sales, because people are looking for the next year, and there's loads of availability, especially at the $5,000 to $10,000 to $15,000 a night range. And at the moment, I'm exclusively only working on things $10,000 a night above. Looking to do a deal for a company to handle everything below that. Hopefully that'll work out. Right, okay. Let's just continue that there. And okay, as I said, I'm going to tidy this up. Let's just continue that one. Yeah, so the temptation is to advertise, in which case CV inquiries will be going ballistic. Or I can focus on S-Web and get myself a highly trained but inexperienced PHP MySQL intern, university la-di-da from India for the next half year, and do quite a lot of stuff there. But really, you know, this is presentation time, and I'm really hoping that via Leigh Marie Braswell, Founders Fund, Peter Thiel, you know, the Cape Villas inquiries become a sort of the case has been proved. Therefore, we can go forwards with T1 as a working prototype that's working in a real business. We can then move forward on the other business strategies from T1, T2, T3, and obviously discuss T7 with Peter Thiel, because he was a big inspiration for me, because of his book 0 to 1 about monopoly. T7 is a monopoly system. I used to think it was a way to increase the money supply, but actually it's a way to increase the velocity of money whilst keeping inflation exactly where we want it. So it's a growth mechanism. It's a way to increase growth. And T8, of course, stops that damaging the planet. Right, that's it for now. We're going to leave it here. And yeah, I'll tidy this up and we'll look at this in various videos. But this has been a video mostly about the 13-week planner, which is a subsystem of the OKRs, which is a subsystem of the company controller, which is a subsystem of the total business controller, which is technology 2 of the 10 technologies which create S-World AGI, or as if it were AGI. Gonna leave it there. Bye, everybody.